And we now return to the spoilers of this film. All right, we're back, baby. Start of the post show. Tough loss for the film. Sadly, was just short there, but it fumbled the ball, and that fumble, being the ending, unfortunately led us to the final result where my negative feelings of the film coming into it and the negative reviews prior to seeing it myself were justified, which is sad because I came in with hopes. But at the same time, not a bad film. As we've previously explained to y'all, anything above a 5 is okay to great. Anything below a 5 is terrible. A 5 is just in the middle. I like this more than it being just in the middle. So for me, personally, this movie is a 6 out of 10. Now, what made this movie a 6 out of 10? I'll get to the spoilers right now. So thank you for joining us in the post-game show. If you want to just pause it and come back to it, you can do that. You're free to do that, baby. This is America. Or you could just listen to the fucking spoilers like you would have had to be forced to if you listened to the Marlon Wayans Breakfast Club interview. But let's get to it. Okay, so my problem off the bat with this film is it had key elements there to be more kind of played in reality. The main event happens. There's somebody in a goat suit who attacks Cam. Cam gets staples in his head. And yes, the staples line up and, oh my God, it's similar to the lacings of football. What is the symbology of this guy's head having similar lacings on it to that of a damn football? Okay, so it's very artistic. It shows various different images of just little lessons. It's great art pieces that say a lot about different aspects of not only just football, but being a pro athlete. That being said, this film literally took the term football gods as literal, as if there is a deity dedicated solely to football and it must be satisfied with literal sacrifice, which, watching the film, okay, symbology, an athlete has to sacrifice a lot. And when I first initiated speaking on this film in a review sense, I had told a beautiful, amazing Discord chat that I'm part of that it was an episode of Goosebumps with blood and titties, because this film is awesome if you're showing it to somebody who's just starting football, like a high school kid, and you're just trying to show him like the dangers of what could happen if he becomes pro with it. But if you're an adult, you kind of already fucking know that. Like, I don't know who's gonna walk into this thinking anything different about football from the moment they walked in to the moment they walked out. And some of the weird shit that happens, it just comes in and disappears, but there's no explanation of it. Like, they try to say that, oh, well, it's this athlete's blood, but this athlete's blood that gets given to you supposedly just makes you better at the game. But that being said, it also gives you hallucinations. And if it was a separate drug, because when he's first getting stuck in with this, he's getting hit with the emoji, and not even the emoji, but it's just like the computer bracket thing where it's slant, slant, with the little face like that. That's what's actually on the needle as it gets injected into him, which is pretty funny. Marlon Wayne's physician is trying to be the only person who's trying to give him help, but plot twist, I guess he dies. Like, you just see his head. At least I'm assuming it's his head, because when you see it disattached from the body, the hair's all wet and shit, compared to when we've seen him walking around dry the whole fucking movie. But, yeah, no, it's just heavy with the symbology of what it's trying to tell you. It's trying to tell you there's a lot of sacrifice. Some of the drills, like the drill that made the most sense to me, I felt didn't need an explanation, but then when they try to give it to an explanation, it kind of overlooked I gave a better explanation for the drill than the film gives. And that is the drill that we see in the trailer where a ball's getting sent to a fucking dude's face. And all that has to happen is Cam has to make a throw within 3 seconds. He has to make a play within 3 seconds. And anytime the receiver drops the ball, anytime he overthrows it, anytime a mistake is made, a ball that is going to be spinning starts off at 40 miles per hour, but then goes all the way to 60, which I'm assuming that's what the knob is for on the football machine. I've never actually got to fiddle with one of those before, the football launchers. That being said, yeah, the guy takes the fucking football to the face for every time one of the receivers fucks up. And when I watched it, I viewed it as, oh, okay, this is if you don't throw it carefully to your receivers will get hit. If you give it to them too late and they got no time and there's already somebody coming for them to fucking knock them down before they even catch the balls, yeah, by the time they lay their hands on the ball, they're getting fucking hit really hard, and that puts them in a lot of danger. So I thought that maybe that was the lesson that was going for. But as the receivers who he's giving it to are fucking up, this one white guy who he puts to the side to get beat up by the balls because he volunteers for it, the lesson that Marlon gives is regardless of whatever happens, even if the receivers fuck up the play, it's you as the quarterback who takes the brunt of the blame. Which, it's this weird thing with this movie overall where it's just like, to somebody who doesn't watch sports, maybe they'll believe that. But as somebody who's watched sports, hell, in this football season, this being the 2025 to 2026 season, we're just barely at the start of it. No, if you're a receiver and you drop the fucking balls, you do get the brunt of the you get the brunt of the blame. The QB really doesn't get the brunt of the blame unless he overthrows the shit. Sure. Just pointing it out for no particular reason when I say that. But yeah, no, so I was like, okay, that's pretty strange. This training is supposed to be a week long, but it only lasts 6 days. From a filmmaking standpoint, god damn, shit is obviously fake. Like the ice baths, you could tell it's just those clear plastic squares, which normally wouldn't bother me that much, but the dude didn't even try to act cold or fazed by it at all. Like, he just treats it like it's normal, which, okay, maybe one could say, well, he's an athlete. It would be normal to him, but it's just there. Different things, if you're trying to read into it, you could say, oh, well, that's talking about this. For example, in the trailer, you see there's a female fan who tries to attack Cam, and the way how it's edited in the trailer, you think it's just a manic fan for Cam. No, it's a fan of Isaiah White who's mad that Cam is already in talks to replace Isaiah White, which is also weird because anybody who watches football knows, not even football, just in general sports, that great players often go to the shittiest team to turn them around to keep the markets interested. Again, pointing specifically at this logo for no reason. Go CJ. Yeah, so this isn't the NFL. It has 2 F's and an L in it. But the movie starts with this kid watching, Marlon Wayans break his leg. Bone sticks out the damn leg. And supposedly this is done at the final play to win what is their equivalent of the Super Bowl. Like, I forget what they call it. I think they just refer to it as the championship game. Point being, though, okay, breaks his leg, so somehow gets better, somehow wins even more championships. Now, I thought that this was a retired quarterback who's considered a legend. No, this is a quarterback who's still actively in the league, like a LeBron James situation, and this is like his last year. Which, in all honesty, I would prefer if it was just like I would have preferred if Isaiah White was a retired player trying to teach an up and coming guy. Like, I would have. I don't like to fantasy write a movie, but I feel like if you would have had it, this is the star quarterback of this franchise. He leaves, then the team becomes shitty, and because the team is shitty, he recruits this quarterback that he wants to go onto his team because he wants it to improve the team and get it back to its former glory of a dynasty. That would kind of make more sense to me, but nevertheless, we get the movie that we get. There's any time to clean it up now. Yeah, no, I mean, visual wise, I'm writing in what do I think is going on. Like, I'm doing the work for the film. And I know some people could say, oh, well, then what? You're just lazy and don't want to do. I don't think not that many people want to do that shit. And it's randomly sequenced because there's symbology about stuff, and you would think, okay, that's very similar. What's going on now? So, like, I bring up that sauna scene where the girl's about to tackle a boy in the fucking sauna. You know, for one, she picks up a rock and I guess is just perfectly fine holding it. Like, you don't even see her skin burning or nothing. But she picks it up, screams, we don't want you. And then he just doesn't even try to fight her off. He literally grabs her by the neck and just immediately chokes her out, which is crazy because he talks about being a good person at the end of the film. Like, this movie, and I'm Catholic, so let me just, no disrespect to the religious, this movie is a religious movie, but for some reason, it brings up the devil more than it brings up Jesus. Like, it has imagery of Jesus, like the one player wears a cross. Isaiah White wears the cross on his ear, on the earring. But it doesn't really... It's the deal with the devil scenario, and it's literally, this is what can all happen while you're doing it, and you're going to live through a span of a career within a week. Like, this is all the shit that goes down. You know, here's orgies with all these women and da-da-da-da-da. But you don't know if Cam's really faithful or not because he wakes up in different positions. And so you're just like, okay, well, did he have sex with these women? Did he not have sex with these women? He can't even tell what the fuck's going on because he'll take something and then he'll get woken up. Now, that is pretty funny, the way he gets woken up for these different things. It's a different training day, so it's a guy telling him, get the fuck up, and different things like that. But, yeah, no, this film has a problem with trying to tell too many lessons at once, and then if you watch sports, you could be like, okay, I could understand what that analogy's trying to do, but then it just completely avoids it. So he chokes out the girl in the sauna. Marlon then just grabs her and then just throws her, like fucking force throws her. Like, I know he's supposed to be strong because he's a quarterback, but Jesus Christ, he threw a human being like if she was a fucking 20-yard pass. And she hit the back of her head and she just dies from it. We're just under the impression that she dies from it. And Cam kind of goes along with a lot of this shit because he can't tell if he's hallucinating because he's taking what us as the audience are just assuming is an unknown drug. But then we find out, oh, it's the blood of greatness, the football god's blood, because they pick a deity. Because, again, the football gods are real. But there's only one God, and that's the Lord. Amen. This film is a religious movie for some fucking reason, but it's sloppy at that because he doesn't bring up prayer. He doesn't pray not once in the fucking movie to try to get out of it. He doesn't give a speech that is praising to God. He just says being a good person. Yeah, I mean, it's a great performance. It's solid acting, but it's just weirdly written. The ending comes out of nowhere because it's day 6. It's not even day 7. Like, each day has a different divider, like a different chapter. And yeah, no, the sauna scene, I was just like, okay, is this in reference to football players abusing women physically? Maybe. I don't know. That's literally just okay. Doesn't really do much to, like, if he's supposed to be the character we're rooting for, Why would he just not push her away or get out of this? He chokes the shit out of her until she passes out, and you believe that he killed her until she gets back up, and only for Marlon to fucking finish the job. It's weird scenes like that where it's just like, okay, and the ending is just, here's this old man who runs the team. This is what your father always wanted for you. We've groomed you as an athlete to do this, sign this contract, da 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 da. He had to kill Marlon Wayans in a physical hand-to-hand combat, but then he kind of cheats to do that. He uses a football helmet, and it just gets stupid. It gets stupid, but he does it. He kills Marlon Wayans. He comes out the tunnel, and there's a bunch of symbology and imagery that is like, okay, that could represent a crazy aspect, but it's just thrown in there, and it's just sloppily put together. Like, okay, in the trailer, pictures getting taken, plastic wrap over his face. He feels suffocated. Okay, yeah, the media will fuck with you as an athlete. Cool, we know. The fuck, I just had it at the tip of my tongue. I just had it. Let me take a sip from the football cup. The house is more or less, as somebody who's worked. Look, I've worked football security at NRG numerous times. Yes, his house is designed to look like the tunnel of a stadium. So, that's symbology that I notice. There's a lot of symbology that you'll notice, but it's cool to notice it, but it doesn't go with the overriding narrative. Like, the lesson ultimately is just sacrifice, 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 sacrifice. Yeah, you got to sacrifice this. You got to sacrifice that. You sacrifice your time, your energy, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But we kind of already know that, and anybody who tries to be an athlete knows that from the get-go. The reveal, it's not blatantly said, but I think it's supposed to insinuate that they killed his father. And I think that's supposed to go to that running trope of sports medias on draft day love to cover the guy who has the shittiest circumstances that he had to overcome. But yeah, no, he kills his agent because his agent, Isaiah White's wife, not Jerry Jones, but definitely Jerry Jones, which is just an old ass football team owner who's like an old man who was like the main devil, I guess. And two other masked people, he kills them in that little thing with the faceless cheerleaders that's in the trailer, and that's mainly been on the poster. That was like the whole climax of it, but it's done so rushed. And then when he does that, like, the agent gets fed to the demon, so I guess nobody's going to be a good quarterback now, and you don't know if he's going to continue to play football or not. All that happens is just he kills them, he picks up a sword, he smiles, the 3 jets that fly over the football game fly over the the little backyard stadium that's set up to mimic the real stadium, and then he just smiles covered in blood, and that's where it ends. But the music is so fucking cheesy, it becomes so comedic at the end of it that it literally becomes a Goosebumps special. It's like a fucking Goosebumps special. The only thing that I can't even say what separates it from being a Goosebumps special is just a little bit more blood and titties. And there's only like one scene that revolves around titties, and that's just Isaiah White's wife is trying to fuck with him. It's a O.J. Simpson, Marcus Allen situation in that regard, which you think they tease, but just doesn't go nowhere with that. And anyway, there's a lot of similarities to what you could say. I know Jordan supposedly had a protege with the Wizards that he scared off, but yeah, no, it's it falls flat. Like, it has the benefit of me liking the concept of what it is, being a football fan and wanting to see a horror movie, but it's not CTE the movie. It's every lesson that you already know as a sports fan who watches sports. Congratulations, now this is just a more fancier version. It is honest to God, it really. I'm 14 years old and this is deep, but yeah, I gave it a 6 out of 10 because it was entertaining given Marlon Wayne's performance and even the actor who plays Cam. Like, acting wise is good, is solid. Even the guy who plays the doctor, but it's just one same lesson, no other lessons in it. Symbology that could be micro lessons but don't get covered or talked about. But given the main story, because when you try to tell a subliminal story and a main story at the same time, like, I think Get Out did that great. I think Us did that fucking terribly with all the homeless hand-in-hand stuff, because then the logic comes of where the fuck they get all these uniforms from. Where do they get all the fabric to make those clothes? Where do they get fucking 4 billion pairs of golden scissors? And similar to this one where, okay, he's seeing this, but the blood that he was given was only supposed... If they would have just said, oh, he's drugging him and also giving him his blood, bam, cool. Then, okay, yeah, he's doing some Charles Manson cult leader shit where he gives him LSD, tells him what he's seeing, and then he can't determine whether what he's seeing is real or not. But everything that he's showing that he sees is real. He just fucking goes along with it, and I get it. He's the greatest football player of all time, but at a certain stance, like, what the fuck? But yeah, it's an after-school special. It's a Goosebumps movie with blood and titties, and therefore I gave it a 6 out of 10. But hopefully you give me something higher than a 6 out of 10, and that being a beautiful like and comment, because fuck it, why not? I'm down to talk about anything. But yeah, comment if you're seeing this for the first time. Please subscribe, which is shitty pronunciation of subscribe, and I'd appreciate it. South Sibs, baby. We're coming back with more videos. DJ didn't want to be on this one, not because he doesn't like me or nothing. DJ's not a sports fan, so why would he care? DJ's not a sports fan. But yeah, more stuff with DJ, more stuff solo, and we're hoping the channel grows, and we're hoping that you join us along with that growth. So down, set, height, and everything's going to be all right.